everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kim and today I'm bringing you my weekly wrap up of what I've read, what I'm still working on, and then the books that I want to get to in this upcoming week, if I can get my thoughts and words out coherently today. Alright, so let us get started. I'm trying not to do my rambly bit that I normally do. So let's dive on in to all the books that I have currently read. So last week I finished out Spider's Revenge. Again, this is following Jen Blanco. She actually went after Mab and all of the things that happened. It like almost happened, then didn't, and then tried again. So there was a lot of ups and downs. And then the final battle happened. Oh, it was so good. Yes, I've really enjoyed. I think I've ordered or will be ordering the next 2 books out of this series. So I'm steadily making my way through. The Elemental Assassins, again, 5-star rating. If you are interested in urban fantasy and haven't really dived into it, I would highly recommend this series by Jennifer Estep. Loved it. Oh, it was so good. Okay, so again, that was a 5-star reading. The next book wasn't quite exactly what I thought it was going to be. This is The Escape Room by Megan Golden, I believe. They have wrapped and covered her name. I gave it, what did I do? Yeah, gave it a 4-star rating. It was back and forth, which I didn't struggle keeping up with the going into the past versus the present. The author did a great job with the transitions so that you knew where you were at in the timeline. It was phenomenal. There were so many twists and turns, so many connections, and the big reveal was awesome. There were actually several things that occurred throughout why these people were trapped in the elevator, and what its significance was, why it was chosen for the escape room, all of that. Yeah, I really did enjoy it. Again, you were following, a group of people. That was your main line. There was Vincent and several others. Sam and Jules and not Sybil. Can't remember her name. Yeah, it was another lady of this financial firm, and how Big Brother takes care of Big Brother, and how women are seen or portrayed in the business world. And that was all very intriguing, and seeing the cutthroatness of how to get on top and stay on top within your niche within a company. Yeah, so it was a great read. Not as scary as I thought it was going to be, but it was still a great read. So I would be interested in reading more by that author. Okay, one of my buddy reads that I did finish. This was A Torch and a Night by Sabah Tahir, I believe is how you say the name. Please let me know if I didn't get it correct, but I tried my best. Again, you are following Elias, Leia, and Helene, and then of course you're the Emperor and the Commandant. Yeah. There were so many twists and turns in this book. I was not expecting what actually happened, because I thought there was a love triangle starting, and then the big reveal on that happened. Oh my God, it was so awesome. I could not believe the connection with that one. I was not expecting that. There is a lot of tragedy, again, a lot of brutality going on. That's just the world that is the martial world that was created. So again, it's still heavily prevalent there. A lot of things went on, a lot of torture went on. You did follow that aspect of the book, even more in depth with this one. But seeing how they are constantly fighting, watching Leia, again, self-doubt herself due to some other events that were going on, her still fighting, even though, you know, she's doubting herself, she's still is trying her hardest to regain her confidence and make decisions, because it is hard hitting on her, because when she does make decisions, bad things are happening. Mistakes happen, and but her fighting through that, not giving up, it's so good. So good. I cannot wait to dive into book 3, but that's going to be either at the end of the month or next month in August. But I cannot wait to get to the 3rd book. So this is a great series. Again, a fantasy series, but it is a very, almost, to me, almost grimdark. I don't read a ton of that, but the world that it is, the morally gray decisions that they have to make, yeah, but it's still good. I think it's leaning towards that. It may not be considered grimdark, but I think it's leaning more towards that. But it's still a great, great book. Loving my experience with her work. So that one, if I did not tell you, that was a 5-star rating, if you couldn't tell. All right, the next book that I finished out, this is, I'll get through my physical books and then I'll get to my e-copies. Alright, so this book, The White Road by Sarah Lott, not scary, which is what I thought it was. It did have a few creep factors, but I didn't care for it as much. You were bouncing around from past to present, kind of like the escape room, but I don't think it was quite as well done. It drug a lot. I don't think, for me, her writing is for me. Alright, so you are following Simon in the present, who is an adventure extremist or wannabe adventure extremist. He's overweight, kind of geeky. Then he has a roommate who is developing the website that they are both building. But Simon is the one that has to go out and do the actual filming and experiencing all of these things that they're wanting to put up on the website, and the roommate, Theory, does all of the uploading, editing, and that part of the business. So you're following Simon in the present, and then in the past you have another climbing person who does a lot of summits, and you're following her in the past. Alright, so you're following Juliet in the past, how women in this, again, male-dominated field is being portrayed. She is trying to do summits without any assistance like ropes or oxygen and that type of thing, doing it pretty much all on her own. And she's kind of getting backlash because she is a mother. Why you want to risk your life when you have a child? And she pretty much tells them, excuse me, why are not male climbers given the same question if they are fathers? So she bounces that back and forth, and so you're following these two trails of the plot and how they converge and all of that. It, like I said, it has a little bit of supernatural with it, because you have this idea of this third man who follows you. Again, this could be due to stress, high altitudes, all of those types of things. Simon is experiencing this when he went cave spelunking and with Ed. But again, Simon felt this malevolent spirit down when he was spelunking with Ed. And the tragedy that happened while they were under in that cave. CWM Pot was the name of the cave that they went into. And then Juliet also had this third man apparition or feeling that she was being followed. Things are starting to happen. So how these are all woven together, it was interesting, but again, not what I was thinking it was going to be, because it's not made it sound like it was going to be a lot more creepy, and it really wasn't. So, 3 stars, not bad, but I just don't think her writing style is for me. Alright, and then the last physical book that I read was Starling by Leslie Livingston. What did I end up giving? I gave it also a 3-star rating. It does deal with Norse gods and other god pantheons kind of in the mix, but more primarily the Norse. It drug a lot. It really got interesting towards the last part of it where everything was finally starting to come together, but it did drag a lot. Finding out who she was, how she's related, the family dynamics I was not expecting to happen, how they happened, because you're led to believe one thing and then something else occurred. So I was not expecting that. I'm debating on whether I want to pick up book 2 because I believe this is at least a trilogy, if not more. I may try book 2 and see if it gets better because the ending was really good. I was not expecting the ending that happened with this book. So the ending kind of saved it, but the beginning and learning all the characters, and again it is set in kind of a high school, almost private school type of academic setting. So there is a lot of angst going on between them, which is expected. I knew that going in when I realized it was that age group. But I love the mythology part on it. The relationships seemed more realistic than some that I have read in the past. So I am considering getting book 2 to see if book 1 was just the start, because like I said, it ended really great. Like I said, the ending I was not expecting. So I may give book 2 a shot. Once I get through some of my other books, I may pick up book 2. Alright, so that's the last of my physical books that I have read. Again, I'll put up my pictures up on the screen for the ones that are e-copies. The first one was Driven. So you're following Mason. He is the main male lead and Kayla is your female lead. So Kayla, she is the owner of a horse ranch where it is struggling to stay afloat, but it is been in her family for going on now 4 generations, and so she's struggling to keep it on the dying wish of her grandfather to try to make it back to a success and not sell it off. Then enters Mason Falco, who is a business kind of guru who does developments and for like multi-million-dollar or so or more developments, and he's bought up all of this land except for Kayla's, who will not agree to sell it to him, so that's throwing a wrench into his business plan. So finding their sparks, going back and forth. It was a very sweet romance read, contemporary, modern romance. I really did enjoy it, watching the sparks fly between the two. She's getting very sassy, which I enjoy in my female leads, and then watching how they overcome all their differences. Secrets that went on behind the scenes, and that came out. Was woo, that was interesting. Yeah. So a lot of things went on. I really enjoyed it. I believe it is the start of a series as well. And I'm considering, I think I got it on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm considering getting more from that author. So I really did enjoy her writing style. Hit the emotions where it's supposed to, and all the good things that you want. So yes, I did enjoy that one a lot. So the last book that I did finish this go around, this was Almost by Danielle Norman. Almost, this is the second book of the Iron Orchids series. I got the first one from the Reveal book box, my romance box. So I really enjoyed the first book. So this is the second book. You are following Carter, and then you are following Sophie. It was so well done. This book has so many ups and downs throughout it. I was so engaged in this book that I finally finished it like at 11 last night. I think that's pretty much the only book I read yesterday, because I was kind of burned out on some of the others, so I needed a break on it. So yeah, wow, that's all I can say. Again, Sophie came back from California. There is a lot of mystery as to why she abruptly left when she was 18, just graduated from high school. Her mom was out in California. She abruptly left to go out there with her. which left Carter without knowing why she left, so he has a lot of resentment towards her. So when she moves back to Florida with her mom, she got was able to transfer back to Disney, which was a good job move for her mom. So Sophie agreed to go back with her, and then they're trying to find out the mystery of why and patch up. You know, he's demanding, I want to know why you left, but I don't want any excuses. But there's still sparks between the two. It was so good. Yes, I also would like to get book 3 to continue this series. Again, just finding out all the whys, and are they going to make it? Do they get their second chance? Do they get into happily ever after? Yeah, it was awesome. Oh, I loved it so much. So yeah, highly would recommend. Again, Danielle Norman's The Iron Orchids. This is the only series I have read from her. But the second book, again, it hits so many emotional ups and downs with this book. It was great. So that is my last book that I have read this past week. So I think it's like 7. Yep, 7 books that I actually finished this last week. But let's get into the books that I want to read. There are 2 that I need to read, have to read. They're going to be my focus books, and then I will get into my buddy reads that I'm still working on, and then the last section, what I will pick up after these books are done or close to or meet my goals with, you know the drill. Alright, the first 2 books, I will again put the pictures up. They are 2 e-copy books. These are from 2 different authors who have reached out to me, asked, you know, if I enjoyed the synopsis, if I would read it for them, give them a review on them, etc. And I agreed to it. So the first book that is on my docket, this is Charlotte's Journey by Lori Angel. I was actually supposed to have read this back in June, but a lot of things, you guys know if you've watched the videos in June, the few that I've uploaded, things went not the way it was planned. So I reached back out to her and we talked about it, and she agreed for me to read it in July. So I will get it read this week. Again, this is Charlotte's Journey. Again, a historical romance, which I have not read in years. You're following Charlotte. What little bit I did manage to read, I don't know where I'm going to rank this book yet. I haven't gotten into the author's writing style yet. Some things don't seem to make sense right now, like the reactions of the characters to the events that have taken place. I don't think was right, of how things I've read in the past, of how family would have responded of that time period to the events that took place with Charlotte. Don't know if I agree with that. So I'm going to keep pushing through and going to finish it this week, and hopefully it's going to pick up. Right now it's not a high star rating of what I've read, a little bit that I've read so far. The second book, this is a middle grades, which I've really not read a ton of middle grade books, but it's a middle grade fantasy. This is The Search for Synergy by Brett Salter. Again, he reached out, asked if I would read the first book and let him know and give a review on it. Don't know a ton about it. It is dealing with, again, a middle-aged child discovering things about himself that is going on. So weird events are taking place. Fires have just randomly started, but he doesn't know why. And then, yeah, so that's pretty much all I've read so far. I have picked it up, you know, a little bit last week just to kind of tip my toe into it, but it wasn't, again, a focus book. So I want to see where this is going to go. It does sound interesting, the little bit that I have read, and at least the age appropriateness of the reactions is on par with that age group. So I have higher expectations for the fantasy book versus the historical one, but we'll see. It may change. Like I said, my other YA book, it dragged a little bit, but the ending was awesome, so I'm hoping that's going to happen with this historical romance. Alright, so on to my buddy reads that I'm again focusing on. I will finish one of them this week. The other one, it's a 3-week long read, so I will finish it next week, but I do have a goal set, I think, of 10 or 11 chapters, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So the first one, the first buddy read, this is Truthwitch by Susan Dennard. This is a Witchlands novel. This is the first book of at least a trilogy. If it's not going to be more than that, I'm not exactly sure yet. I have been really enjoying it. Sophie is hysterical. And Isolde, again, it helps keep her grounded. A lot of things have gone on. I don't know how to talk about it without it spoiling. A lot of things are going on. She's been kidnapped / being taken to safety. She has been forcefully engaged to the Emperor. She really doesn't have a choice in the matter about that. So there's that playing on in the background. And then you're finding out more about the world, about how the country of New Brevna, I think is the country's name, how they have been basically almost brutalized to the point of extinction for them. Their land has been poisoned, the trees have been burned, the water has been poisoned, their food sources is pretty much non-existent. And then the end of the 20-year peace agreement is coming to an end, and all the navies are ramping back up. So there's a lot of tension being built, and I can't wait to see exactly how it's going to go on. Again, Sophie's trying so hard, or Sophia, S-A-F-I-Y-A, Sophia, I think is how you say that. So yeah, I cannot wait to see the ending and how this is going to end. Again, she tries so hard to do the right thing, to make things better, and it just backfires on her left and right. So again, can't wait to see how that book ends. I do have book 2 ready to go. This one, I had such high hopes. This is The Realm Breaker. I am currently in chapter 8. I was supposed to read through chapter 11. I'm a little bit behind. I'm struggling with this one. Again, this is from Victoria Aveyard. A lot of past, going into the past to the present. Are we in the present? Are we in the past? It's not streamlined. It's not as easy to follow, and I think that's part of why I'm struggling with this book, because at the beginning of the prologue, I didn't know if I was in the past, because then it later reveals, no, you're not in the past, you're actually in the present, but from a different point of view. And then get another set of characters, and you're in the present, and then you're in the past. So it's like you're in the present, but then she has to go back and tell how these people got to the present. So that is, I think, my biggest struggle with this book. It's not streamlined. It doesn't flow very smoothly. So it's constant back and forth, but it's just dragging. So I'm struggling with it. I'm trying to get through it. Hopefully I will finish out the last few chapters that I need before Monday to start the next set, because this started on a Monday, so my week will end on Monday, or restart on Monday. So I have a few more days to get this done, and then before I start the next one. So hopefully I'm not going to end up DNFing it. I've already told my group the group that I'm in, that I'm struggling with this one, but hopefully it's going to pick up. Like I said, I had high hopes that it sounded great, but the execution right now is falling a little flat. So if I can make my goals on what I need to read on my 2 e-copy books and then my 2 book buddy groups, then I will continue on. I picked this one up late Friday. This is Vicious by Kevin O'Brien. Again, I only read a little bit. I didn't make my goal on Friday because I was just out of it, and I got into Almost, and that's where my attention just stayed and latched on. But this follows a serial killer. He targets young mothers of young boys and pretty much kills them in front of him, or kidnaps them with the child. And then eventually kills them. So you're following that. Like I said, I haven't read a lot out of it, but a lot has happened in just the first few pages that I did. So I want to continue on with this. Hopefully I will get to it after I've made some progress on my other books. And then again, if I do finish out one of the others, then I will pick up The Snakes by Sadie Jones. Again, this is following a family dynamics, family drama, family secrets. All of that good stuff is happening in this book. So I cannot wait to dive in, and hopefully it lives up to my expectations. All right, so again, I am trying to make these videos short, but I cannot apparently seem to do that. So anyways, these are all the books that I have read, the ones that I need to read this upcoming week, and then the others that I want to pick up after I make my goals and progress on the other books. So I hope you have enjoyed today's video. Give me a thumbs up if you did, subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope you have a great one until my next video. Bye guys!